Good morning, all of you. Now we will start the next microorganism, the phytoplasma. Last time we studied the virus as well as the bacteria. The bacteria is a very smallest microscopic living microorganism. They may be observed in water, air, as well as in semi-aquatic in nature, everywhere. We'll also study their structure as well as their important characteristic features of this bacteria. Rather than this virus and bacteria, the third important microorganism we'll study in BSc part now, third, that is the phytoplasma, or it is also called as the mycoplasma or MLO, mycoplasma-like organism. Is a very important microorganism, maybe observed in biological words. This microorganism is the very smallest microorganism and they only may be observed under the electron microscope. It is not actually bacteria. It is smaller than the bacteria. हा मायक्रोऑर्गॅनिझम आहे फायटोप्लाझ्मा. हा फायटोप्लाझ्मा मायक्रोऑर्गॅनिझम हा बॅक्टेरियापेक्षा सुद्धा लहान आहे आणि बॅक्टेरियापेक्षा लहान असल्यामुळं तो आपल्याला लाईट मायक्रोस्कोप मध्ये किंवा हाय पॉवर लाईट मायक्रोस्कोप मध्ये सुद्धा दिसू शकत नाही. ओनली ऑब्झर्व अंडर द इलेक्ट्रॉन मायक्रोस्कोप. This in actually the introductional part of the discovery of this phytoplasm or mycoplasma organism, such type of organisms may be observed in 16th or 17th century. The first Louis Pasteur may be observed or studied. He finds that the existence of such organisms, and this organism is a positive agent of the pleuropneumonia. It is pleuropneumonia is a disease caused to the cattle. This organism positive agents of the pleuropneumonia is the phytoplasma or mycoplasma. But the Pasteur cannot be isolate this organism from this culture because they are too much small. The size of this organism is actually 0.1 mu. That is, it is very smaller than the bacteria and larger than the virus. Hence, they cannot be observed. The next one actually gives the name of phytoplasma or mycoplasma. The French scientist first discovered such organism in plants and gives the name in I think 1967 is mycoplasma or phytoplasma. And this mycoplasma or phytoplasma is causative agents that are highly pathogenic in nature. They infect the plant and develop the serious diseases. Due to these diseases, the yielding capacity of the plant is totally lost. Actually, totally the floral growth as well as the growth of the axillary part of the plant may be dark due to darkness, they can't be develop the reproductive organs. And in absence of reproductive organs or flower, ultimately the yield as well as the growth of the plant may be reduced. This is very important. The next one we will observe that this microorganism may be actually Pasteur observed this positive agent is a pleuropneumonia last time. But they cannot be isolated from this culture media or from this infected part, but gives the name as PPAO, that is the pleuropneumonia-like organism. This pleuropneumonia-like organism is nothing but the Phytoplasma or Mycoplasma. Then we will study the characteristic features of this Phytoplasma or Mycoplasma. What are the important characteristic features? It is highly pathogenic in nature, no doubt. The first we will already study introductional part, their existence or their smallest living microorganism is not a bacteria or is smaller than the bacteria. They are only found in electron microscope. The Pasteur first exits such type of organism but gives the name as the PPAO, pleuropneumonia-like organism. Then what is the actual structure and their important characteristic feature of this organism, that is Phytoplasma? This first we will study the important characteristics. In that important characteristic we will study first, observe the first important character, that is this microorganism is the smallest microorganism, can't be observed under the light microscope, only and only observed under the electron microscope. The size of this microorganism is less than 1 mu or 0.1 mu in their diameter. This Phytoplasma are obligate parasite. They may be found in phloem tissues of the plant as well as in the insect vectors. Vector, what is meant by vector? The vector is nothing but the insect which transmit the pathogen from infected plant to the healthy plant. Actually, vectors or such type of insect are sap-sucking insect. Always they may be feed on the sap or juice of this plant. They suck the juice with help of these particular organs and then transmit, or this insect may be transferred to the other plant. Again they penetrate their organ. At that time such microorganism may be transmitted in the healthy plant and cause to the disease. The next important character of this plant is Phytoplasma are characterized by the lack of a cell wall. Cell wall is absent. Cell wall can't be observed in that microorganisms. The Phytoplasma were may be observed or studied when we will observe their structure. The structure of this organism is very smaller. They may be 0.1 micron or 0.1 micron in their diameter. The next one is the Phytoplasma are characterized by lack of the cell wall. This organism is pleuromorphic or filamentous insect. The diameter of Phytoplasma normally less than 1 mu. The Phytoplasma are the pathogen of agriculture plants such as sugarcane plant, the coconut plant, the brinjal plant. In this plant, this very important diseases may be observed in this plant, and these diseases, for example, in sugarcane, we will already study in last time the grassy shoot of sugarcane. The grass-like structure may be observed. The tillering growth, not the proper growth, may be observed in that sugarcane plant. This disease is called as a grassy shoot disease of sugarcane. This grassy shoot of sugarcane may be observed in agriculture field, in the ratoon crop generally. Then next important character is, that is the phytoplasma are transmitted from one plant to other plant by vector or through vector, normally sap-sucking insects. The next important character is, that is the phytoplasma are bounded by cytoplasma triple layered membrane. The phytoplasma membrane contains the single immunodominant protein of unknown function. The phytoplasma is non-motile and contains both DNA as well as RNA. These organisms reproduces by binary fissions. That is, the reproduction may be takes place by binary fissions, not a sexual reproduction or any other type of reproduction may be observed in that phytoplasma organisms. Only binary fission, as like bacteria, such type of reproduction may be observed in that phytoplasma. The next important character is phytoplasma is various in shape, such as spherical form or pleomorphic form. The filamentous forms also observed or reported by some scientists. The filamentous type of structure may be observed in some organs or some infected plants. The next important, that is the characteristic is, that if phytoplasma infect to the plant and develop the disease, such diseases is called as yellowing diseases. The chlorophyll pigments are actually inhibits by this pathogen, and due to inhibition of chlorophyll pigment, the total growth of the plant may be reduced. When the growth may be reduced, ultimately the plant reduce their growth. These are the important characteristic features of this phytoplasma. This we will study. तर बघा तुम्ही महत्त्वाचं काय दिलं जाईल. द बायोलॉजिकल वर्ड्स मध्ये आपण मायक्रो ऑर्गॅनिझम स्टडी करतोय. पहिल्यांदा आपण व्हायरस स्टडी केला, नंतर आपण बॅक्टेरिया स्टडी केला, आणि थर्ड मायक्रो ऑर्गॅनिझम, दॅट इज द फायटोप्लाझ्मा. द अनदर नेम इज मायकोप्लाझ्मा or MLO, मायकोप्लाझ्मा लाईक ऑर्गॅनिझम. ते फार लहान ऑर्गॅनिझम्स आहेत, बॅक्टेरियापेक्षाही लहान आहे. पूर्वी त्याला काय म्हणतात, हा बॅक्टेरियल डिसीज आहे का, बॅक्टेरियल ऑर्गॅनिझम आहे का, किंवा हा व्हायरल ऑर्गॅनिझम आहे का. पण हा बॅक्टेरियापेक्षा सुद्धा लहान आहे. तो फक्त आपल्याला इलेक्ट्रॉन मायक्रोस्कोप मध्येच आपल्याला ऑब्झर्व होतो. आणि अशा टाईपचे ऑर्गॅनिझम पहिल्यांदा 16व्या शतकात किंवा 17व्या शतकामध्ये सुद्धा पाश्चर नावाच्या सायंटिस्टनं शोधून काढलेले आणि त्याला नाव वेगळं दिलेलं आहे. त्याला नाव काय दिलं, प्लेरोनिमोनिया टाईप ऑर्गॅनिझम, PPLO ऑर्गॅनिझम. Actually this organism is too much small, hence they can't be isolate this organism from this infected part. इन्फेक्टेड पार्ट पासून तो ऑर्गॅनिझम त्यांनी सेपरेट केलेला नाही. म्हणून आपण त्याच्यामध्ये फायटोप्लाझ्मा इज ॲक्च्युअली हायली रिलेटेड टू द पॅथोजेनिक, or they may be pathogenic in nature. we'll study their different characteristic feature. त्याचे character